Building a business takes faith, even if you're in the business of faith. 33 years ago, Milton Mann put a ton of faith into starting Delaware's first Christian radio station, and, well, it's safe to say it paid off.
Today, Bill Sammons' God-given vision to spread the Word of God reaches a population of 1.5 million listeners in 4 states. Well, now he has plans to retire from broadcasting and his full-time role at the Bridge radio stations. Before that, though, we found it necessary to drag him into a historic Studio D. It is so good to have you here. Thank you so much.
It's so cool to be here. Early on I worked here.
I was going to say, this isn't your first time here.
In fact, when I was doing the math on the way here, and I shouldn't have, but I was 22 when I started working here. I'm 66 now.
Wow.
And this is the studio where I worked. I mean, the set was here, the weather map. Ralph Pennywell was the weatherman.
Yeah.
Stood over here.
And it's the reason we call it Historic Studio D.
Yeah, it's historic. And it was historic when I worked here 40 years ago. So it's been around a while.
Yeah. So take us back to, what was it, 1990?
Yeah.
Was it the Light FM then?
It was called the Light FM, yeah. It was WXPZ. It's now a country station. And it was a commercial station, commercial Christian. It was the first Christian station in Delaware. And I think I ran that about 12 years, added a second station. We started a Christian music festival back in the day called Lamb Jam.
Remember that.
And we had 10,000 people come to that a day, and it was crazy. And now the Bridge has been on the air for 13 years. And my co-host Denise and I, we started working together in 1991. So we have been together for a very long time, and it's about to end.
Okay,
yeah.
so all down through this, looking back at what's happened, how it happened.
Yeah.
How does that affect you? What does that feel like?
Well, it's kind of hard to comprehend, and I've written a book. I don't know if you know that or not.
You know that,
yeah. So I've had the opportunity over the last couple of years as I've been writing it to remember a lot of the stories, a lot of the things that have happened, and a lot of them are just mind-blowing. I still can't believe I lived through some of them, and to see.
Can you share one?
Sure. I mean, I can share one that's most meaningful. When I started the Light FM back in 1990, there was a guy in the community who didn't want it to happen. And he fought us all along the way through the legal system. And it culminated one night at the site of the radio station. I wasn't on the air yet, where he assaulted me. And he broke my nose, headbutted me, broke my nose, punched me in the throat. He was very angry, didn't want the radio station, and threatened to kill my children. And it was quite an ordeal. I thought I was going to die that night, to be honest with you. And as part of the legal system, legal process, he had a restraining order to stay away from me for a year and my family. And about 9 months later, meantime the radio station signed on the air, I was at a concert that we sponsored, and he shows up with his family, and he asked if he could talk to me and my father. And he said, I've secretly been listening to your radio station, and on Easter Sunday I gave my heart to Jesus.
Get out of town.
And he said, I'd like to be your friend and not your enemy. And he asked my dad, who was a pastor, if he would baptize him. And yeah, the power of Christian radio. I mean, it's amazing, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're still friends.
Wow,
That is amazing.
Yeah.
The power of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were some of the, I mean, obviously that was probably the biggest challenge, but when you decided to come back and build the Bridge, if you will, non-commercial.
Right, big difference.
That had to be challenging.
It was scary. I was used to, on the bad days, to grab a rate card and go sell some ads, and you can't do that with non-commercial radio. So it was more of a faith venture, to be honest with you. And it's been fantastic. Our listeners have stepped up. We have positive cash flowed since the first month. When we had no database, we didn't know if we had any listeners. It was all brand new.
13
to
years.
this day, now we have 5 frequencies in 4 states, and it's blown my mind. If you'd asked me to write it out in a business plan, there was no way I would have expected God could have done everything that he's done.
Wow. Okay, so we're about out of time, but I got to ask you. So you worked with the same one for this long?
Denise. Yeah.
What's it been like?
Be careful how you ask that
Hurry up,
question there.
start talking, Bill. You're
you
going to get in
guys,
trouble here.
you've been together quite a while,
Yes.
too. Well, we finish each other's sentences. I know where she's going to go. She knows where I'm going to go. That's probably what I'm going to miss the most, because we spend 4 hours in a small room together every day, 5 days a week for many, many, many years. She's great. She's staying on the air, so So the theme and her consistency will stay with the bridge, and I'm real happy about that.
That's awesome.
But what about you? Where will you be?
You know, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I feel like there's another chapter for me. I don't know what it is yet. For now, I'm not going to get up at 3:30 in the morning. That's the main thing.
You think you're not going to get
Well,
up
I'm
at
going to try
3:30
not
in the morning.
to. Yeah, sleep until 4.
Well, Bill Sammons with the Bridge, thank you so much for all you've done for our community.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And I mean, just amazing.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations,
And
James.
congratulations indeed.